Right. Good evening, everyone. It says that I am live, so I think I am. Maybe you could give me a shout out that you can actually hear me okay. I haven't done one of these lives for 2 years, so I'm a little bit rusty. Can everyone hear me okay? Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm just looking at the chat. Yes, yes, you are live, it says. Brilliant. Well, welcome everybody. Warm welcome. I had to come on just to, I don't know, be with you and thank you all so much for the 100K subscribers. It's a big milestone and I'm just really overwhelmed with it. And I think before we get into this video and I say hello to some of you, I can see your names flashing up there and also where you're from. I think maybe let's just spend a moment just to connect across the ethers, as it were, and let's just bring in all of the good energy for all people watching. Okay, so maybe if you just close your eyes for one moment, connect into the earth beneath you, put your roots down into Mother Earth, calling in Archangel Metatron, Archangel Sandalphon, all of our guides, all of our helpers, thanking them for the support that they always give to us, and thanking each of you for wherever you are around the world. UK, I can see, South Wales, California, I saw earlier, Sweden, Idaho, Marianne, hello, Switzerland, Devon, Texas. It's all going on, guys. It's all going on. So I have actually got a glass of wine here, which I did say I was going to be doing dry January, and I am going to be doing it, but I'm going to be starting late. So, you know, we have to just have a little glass of something to celebrate. So I'm just going to have a little sip of rosé and say cheers to all of you. If you've got a glass of something, whether it be alcoholic or non-alcoholic, cheers also. Let me just have a little glug. Rosé is always my tipple. So I am going to do a dry spell, actually. Not that I drink that much, but it's very good to have a detox from alcohol. But yeah, it's nice to celebrate also. So how are you all doing? What we're going to do today is we're going to do I'm going to pull some cards for full moon in Cancer, which is obviously looming tomorrow. And I've actually got 3 new decks which have just arrived in my home today. Quite unusual decks which I haven't seen other people use. So I'm going to show you what those are in a moment. One of them is a shadow deck and a little bit dark, but the truth is we have to be comfortable with the darkness to be able to be comfortable with the light. It's the truth, isn't it? But anyway, before we get to all of that, yes, let me just shout out to a few of you. Michael, hello, you should do more lives. Well, you might not say that at the end. We'll see how this one goes. Jojo Dodds Island, hello. Sally, Karina, Mary, Julia, hello to all of you. Honestly, guys, it's been such a ride. It's taken 11 years to get to this point of 100K. And I've actually enjoyed pretty much every moment of it. And there's been such a different assortment of videos that we've done. And hopefully that will continue. So for many years more. What we'll do, I think, to start with, I have written a few little notes down just to try and keep myself sort of on track. Firstly, those of you that have watched my New Year predictions video, the closed captions, the subtitles went up this morning. So those of you that were waiting for that, I don't know why, there was just a really big delay, but they are actually there now. So that's good. Thank you also to the people that are moderating this evening. I know I've got a few people doing it. Tracy is at Spray HQ. Hello, Tracy. Donna in America is doing it. A couple of other people have volunteered, but I can't see your names at the moment. So apologies, but thank you for your help as well. just to keep everything polite and friendly for everybody. Right, what shall I do, guys? Shall I pull some cards? Shall I pull some cards? Shall I show you my new decks? You're doing a good job. I hope so. Oh, my goodness. Right. I'm going to show you a couple of the new decks. I think that's what we're going to do. Hello, Sue. Hello, Brenda. Hoping 2023 will be a good year for everybody. I think we all feel that, don't we? And I am really feeling a new energy in town at the start of this year. I really am. Really feeling as though it's a year to go for it. And if you've watched me for a while, you might have heard me say that before, but I really feel as though there's a fresh energy, which is just asking us to put aside our fears and our insecurities, which we all have, and just try to live our best life. And it is very much a case of pushing ourselves out of comfort zone, I think. So I don't know where you feel with regards to where you're stuck at the moment, what you maybe fear. It might be something like technology, which has been one of my things which has held me back, but this is the year I master that. But it could be anything. So Nancy Hadley, hello Nancy. When this much light comes in, I always start to cry. Intense. Yeah, New Zealand as well, I saw that. Yeah, there's just some beautiful people here online, so thank you all. 1,228 people watching at the moment. Wow. Okay, right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you one of the decks that have arrived today. They're actually from Blue Angel, the publisher Blue Angel, which I believe is an Australian publication house. This one, I don't know if any of you have got this, is by a lady called Suzy Cherub, artwork by Layla Savalanin. Sorry, I'm butchering a name again. But I bought it because it's called the Water Temple Oracle. And if you've watched my first video of 2023, you'll know that water is going to be a predominant energy, I believe, through this year, and also about helping us to get in touch with our own intuition, our own watery emotions. What's that beautiful expression about, just doing it, even if your legs are shaking and your voice is trembling? All of the messy emotions that make us beautiful human beings, actually. It's time to embrace all of it. So this deck, let's have a little look. I haven't looked at it at all. Shall we see? Okay, so we got a little book with it. Pretty standard sized book. Let's have a look at the cards. And shall I start with 3? Let's just shuffle them firstly, and then I will show you a few more of them. I don't know what you do to christen a deck when you get a new deck, but usually I wouldn't be using them straight away like this, but I just can't resist. Normally I would put, I don't know, crystals on top of them, smoky quartz if I feel as though that I need to do that, which is about cleansing the deck. But more than anything, it's about making the deck your own. Obviously, the creator, whoever they were, had an express intention in terms of what they were trying to put out with a deck. But, it becomes your deck when you basically own it. So put your energy into it. So I'm going to put my energy into this deck, and I'm going to put your energy into it as well. And let's just pull out some messages for those of you that are watching. Thank you for people that are donating. That's very sweet of you. I can see Melissa Yates. Thank you. I can't see the person who did it before. I will get to grips with this technology, guys, but today is very much a first run. So thank you. Thank you. Right, let's pull a card. Let's see what we get, and let's see what the messages are from Spirit for all of the people that are watching. Okay. Okay, that's the card. It says Mama Kucha. Is that how you pronounce it? Anybody work with Mama Kucha? It says collaboration. It says, I flow with life and life flows with me. That's beautiful, isn't it? I flow with life and life flows with me. And I think so often we get stuck, don't we? Because we resist the flow. We won't surrender because either we're frightened or maybe we're in an ego state. It's the unknown, but this is a year to really go with the flow. So I love that. Collaboration also is implying, of course, that we need other people with us. You know, and at the end of the day, I'm sitting here this evening talking to you, and I couldn't have got to where I am today without all of you. So thank you so much. I'm going to keep saying that. Thank you today. Really appreciate that this is a team effort. It's a team effort, and I think that the community that we've built here over the years is a really loving one, a really high vibration one, and I love the way that you all support each other as well. Okay. Hi, Michelle. Okay, let's have one more card. Rosa Mystica, I'll show the card in a minute. It says dedication. It says, I open my heart to abiding love. So I open my heart to abiding love, and I flow with life, and life flows with me. Heart energy, water energy. This is definitely a year to not keep our hearts closed. It's a year just to open and open more. And the breath is going to be very important to aid us with that. So let's have a third card. I feel like it wants to come in a 3. And we've got Lord's Grotto, Sanctuary. I create an inner haven of peace. I create an inner haven of peace. Anybody been to Lord's? Anybody been to Lord's? I haven't actually. Would be a good pilgrimage, definitely, to do that, wouldn't it? So I create an inner haven of peace. Beautiful. And we've also got 2 divine feminine energies here. The rise of the divine feminine. Some of you have been to Lord's. So what was the energy like when you went? Did you go to receive a particular healing or a particular blessing? Yes, beautiful. Okay, Joanne Brooke. Yes, as I went as a teenager to Lord's. Yeah, I would imagine it's one of those places that stays with you, doesn't it? A bit like if you visit, I don't know, Egypt or Machu Picchu or India, any of these beautiful places. I think they stay in your heart. But I'm a firm believer also that we can visit these places in our dream state, in meditation. And maybe that's what we're being invited to do this Cancer full moon, to return to our heart space, to visit places which are heart-centered, to be with heart-centered people, which is why it's so nice to be here with all of you who are in your heart. I just missed a message. I think it was from a lady called Blessida, who said that your mother, who I think is departed, gave you a bottle of water from Lourdes. Yeah, very beautiful. Well, okay, so we've got the energy of that coming through here. Let me show you a few more of these cards anyway. Let's just have a look at the messages on them. They're rather beautiful. They're a matte finish. Can you see that okay? This one is white Tara, and it says, resilience, my spirit endures. I think the last couple of years have been extraordinarily difficult for most of us. And I think we all need to be giving ourselves a pat on the back at the start of 2023, that we survived it. We actually thrived to a degree. We learned things. We became more resilient. Oh, I must just ask you something. I don't know if this is just me getting older, which it might be, to be honest. But if you think about the energy of flow, which is to do with flexibility, we need to be flowing, we need to be flexible this year for the blessings that want to come in, the opportunities, etc. Everything that needs to be done, everything that needs to be looked at. You might be feeling I was about to say stiffness in the body, but that's going to be taken the wrong way by some people. No, let's be serious. Seriously, I'm literally feeling as though my body is showing me where I am not flexible. And I don't think it's just about getting older. So it's like the desire to learn how to properly, not just breathe, but move and be supple. Now, many of you probably already do things like yoga, Tai Chi, etc. But really the energy of suppleness and flexibility is going to be really, really important, because if you think about it, if we're being asked to mentally do that and approach life in a more flexible way, then if we've got any place in our body which is more rigid and not like willow, then it's going to be difficult to navigate. I've really felt in my legs the last few days that they're really achy, and I'm not unwell or anything like that. Someone says, you love my sense of humor. Yeah, I know. maybe that word wasn't the most appropriate one to use, but you know what I'm trying to say. No, seriously, is anybody else just feeling this need to get more supple? It can't just be me. It can't just be me. Yeah, cosmic lioness. Yes, yes, yes. Being called to be closer with the body, stretch. That's exactly it, basically. We've got to get more into our body. I remember years ago when I think I had some counselling. This was a long time ago, and many of you will have had the same. And one of the things that was given to me, which I still have kept somewhere, is pretty much a very basic relaxation technique. You know, if you're very stressed, very anxious, you need to be able to relax the body and calm down. And it's that thing about just tuning into every single part of your body, whether it be your ear, your jaw, your cheeks, your chest, your knees, every part, and really focusing in on it, and then helping it to soften, breathing into it. And I don't know if I've got somebody in the chat, Tamsin, I don't know whether you're here, but I did a wonderful, this sounds very impressive, guys. I did a wonderful yogic retreat, which makes me sound like a great yogi. I don't do yoga. It's the only time I've ever gone to a yoga retreat. It was brilliant. I loved it. And I would like to come back this year, actually, if you're watching, Tamsin, and do something with you, because I need help on the flexibility side of things, because the body is really showing us where we're stuck. It's really showing us where we're stuck. So this thing about just breathing into the body, and by nature, we have to slow down to be able to do that, don't we? So yeah, this thing about resilience. Resilience comes when we are flexible and strong at the same time. Nurture the body as a mother or father. Cosmic Lioness. Yeah, I've just seen your message again. It's really true, isn't it? Okay. Just started Qigong. Is that how you say it? Probably not. Anyway, yeah. So we need to be flexible. We need to be getting in touch with our bodies. We need to be breathing into our bodies. We need to be slowing down, because otherwise it's all going to be a bit brittle and a bit fractious and more stressful than the year needs to be. I said to Tracy today, actually, we were just talking about work, that one of my mantras for this year is to rush less, you know, to slow down, basically, putting it in other words, to slow down. Guys, there's so many super chats coming in. Thank you so much. I'm actually nervous to touch any button in case, you know, I make a mistake and I can't get you back, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Somebody says weighted blankets are a game changer. Yeah, I bet they are. I bet they are. Especially with all this cold weather, that would be a wonderful thing to have. I don't know, have you still got all the terrible snow and cold weather in parts of America and Canada? I mean, I know obviously it goes on for months, but that was exceptional weather that you all had. And I was watching a couple of YouTubers who were in Buffalo, I think it was, and they were saying this was a real, almost like a test, a case study. It's like it made you realize what you don't necessarily have to hand and what we need to get in, you know, to prepare for these days. Yeah, still snow here in Colorado, low temps. Yeah. My cats are my weighted blankets. Yes. Bella could be mine, I suppose, couldn't she? But okay, let me show you a couple of other cards and then we'll just pull out the messages and chill out together. Get our blankets around us if you're cold. And if you're hot, I don't know, get the fan on. Right. We have Baths of Aphrodite, nourishment. Oh, this is lovely. Let me show you. It says, I bathe in the secrets. Can't speak. I bathe in the sacred springs of love. Look at that. Bathing, Aphrodite. Aren't they beautiful cards? The colour isn't really particularly coming across very well. The lighting in this room is a bit odd because obviously it's pitch black outside. So let's see what else we've got here. We've got underwater temple, growth. I consciously change and evolve. Nice, aren't they? Oh, pregnant woman, of course. Blue Tara. Never heard of Blue Tara. I overcome all obstacles. Nice artwork, isn't it? Tibetan Buddhist monk, mindfulness. I listen to the wisdom of my heart. I know I've said this before in videos to you, but again, Thich Nhat Hanh's teaching about mindfulness in the everyday, chop wood, carry water. It is so important that we get that now. So important that we get that now, and that we don't rush through our tasks to get to more important tasks or that we deem more important. I've been really guilty of that in the past. You know, I get up in the morning, race downstairs to clear up, wash up. And if I'm honest, sometimes I've really resented it because I want to get on with my work. Whereas actually I'm really learning now to try to see that there is beauty in slowing down. And as Thich Nhat Hanh always said, enjoying the sensation of water, washing the dishes, all of that. What else have we got here? God, this is the card. This card here is one of the reasons why I bought this deck. I saw it and I thought it was lovely. I've never seen a depiction of this before. The goddess Ganga. I'm assuming that's linked into the Ganges. It says, I surrender to the river of love. Aren't they beautiful cards? Really, really lovely cards. So let me just pull one more for those for us watching. Let me ask a question. Let's ask, what are we particularly meant to be working on right now with the Cancer full moon approaching very quickly in our sky? What are we particularly meant to be focusing in on as Cancer full moon arrives in the sky? Nice. St. Bridget's Well, compassion and giving freely. Compassion and giving freely. One of the reasons I'm so proud of this community is that I think there is so much love here and so much gentleness and so much compassion for each other. I see that in the comments that you make and when you respond to people who are in need. Compassion and softness and gentleness are the energies that we need at this time, because we know that the world is waking up more and more. I've noticed it in my work, even in the last week. More people joining, welcome if you're new, but also people joining who don't necessarily know very much about, you know, some of the stuff we do here, whether it be chakras, energy work, healing. There was one lovely lady yesterday who said, she just said, like, help, you know, I've just read the Celestine prophecy. I don't know anything about anything. What do I do? I almost got a sense of panic coming from her. Like, what do I do? What do I read first? Where do I go? And the most important thing is to remember that you are exactly where you're meant to be, and that the path evolves, and the path is ever flowing, isn't it? You know, none of us know it all. And wouldn't it be a boring world if we did? So the path is one of discovery. And just because other people have discovered things that you haven't, doesn't mean that you're any less or that you are behind. We're all exactly where we are meant to be. But there's definitely more people getting curious and inquisitive. And I think those of us that have been on the path a while, it's our job to really soften and be there for our fellow brothers and sisters. It was funny that she said the Celestine prophecy, because I'm sure many of you have read that. And actually, when I look back at my life, I'm going back to, 25, 30 years ago. I think I was already awake and sort of on my path. I've always been interested in spirituality and angels in particular and colours. But my first marriage had broken up and I'd gone on holiday on my own to Turkey, which looking back on it was, I think, quite a brave thing to do, because even though I'm here on YouTube and I'm talking to you and there's 1,600 of you there and it's like, wow, you know, I'm not that adventurous, I don't think, but it was adventurous to go to Turkey on my own. And I took the Celestine Prophecy with me, and I always remember reading it. And if you remember that book, it talks about different archetypes that we all have to try to help us manage life, basically, like coping mechanisms that we use to get through. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what all of them are. You're very welcome to put down the archetypes if you can remember what they are in the chat for other people. But I remember reading it by the swimming pool in Turkey, trying to keep myself to myself, not just because I wanted to heal, but because that was a pattern that I like to keep myself to myself. So there were lots of families and other people doing their things, but there was I on a chair bed on my own, having, sounds really sad, sounds very Bridget Jones, but I was fine. But the point was, I was there, I was on my own, I was eating on my own, I was having a holiday on my own, I was traveling on my own. And of course, one of the archetypal energies that it talks about in the Celestine Prophecy is aloofness as a coping mechanism. And I remember looking at it and my jaw just dropped. It was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm doing. That's exactly probably what I've always done. And I can see how it's played out in different ways. So yeah, it's a good book. That I really would recommend that for anybody that hasn't read it. To be honest, even those of us that have read it, it might be worth dipping back into it, because you might then see that the archetypal pattern has changed. Because the truth is, we all have coping mechanisms to some degree, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. But when you become aware of the pattern, that's when you can really feel into it. Understand what you have to learn from it. Why are you doing that? You know, the whole aloofness thing. I even remember, like, when the girls were younger and the whole school mum thing, you know, how many of us are parents on the school playground, and it just filled me with absolute horror. I hated every minute of it, if I'm perfectly honest. I look back and I think I probably could have got more out of it if I hadn't been so aloof. But it was my coping mechanism. I felt like a duck out of water, particularly because it was also during the time I was doing this work here on YouTube and, you know, in my business. So I could have had a day where I've been, I don't know, channeling Freddie Mercury. And then you go down to the school yard and there's this thing about, well, how do I explain to somebody that I've been doing that? You know, it's not what they're talking about. So you have to laugh. What kind of work did you do before you started this business? I was in market research. I used to be a qualitative market researcher, which sounds very grand, but basically I used to run focus groups and manage focus groups. And I was very, very lucky in that I got my first job was with a company, and the director of it, the owner of it, was a guy called Peter Cooper. I told you this story before, but I will say it again for people that are new, because it's quite a great story. And he was a guru of his, he was the man who invented focus groups in the 1960s, basically. He was a psychologist, used to go into Peter's office, and he would have all of these phrenology heads. It was a great big library. He had a chair which was higher than you, and he had all the phrenology heads behind him. He was a brilliant, brilliant man. I learned a lot from him. I was very, very lucky. But I was also a bit freaked out as a first-time job, you know, to have this person who knew so much. But yeah, that's what I did do. And I always remember at his funeral, he died, and it was so beautiful because everybody stood up and gave him a round of applause. I always remember that. It was just impromptu. Somebody just stood up after somebody had, you know, said whatever they said about him, and just started to clap. And then the whole church stood up and clapped, applauded a life. Imagine that, if we can applaud a life well lived. particularly if it's our life, as well as other people that we love as well. But that should really be the goal, shouldn't it? That we are applauding a life well lived and that we are living our best life. Someone says the control dramas are being aloof, being an intimidator, an interrogator, and poor me. Oh gosh, poor me. I could write a book on that. Not because I think I am, actually, but I grew up with that archetype within the home, let's put it that way. And one day I will write a book on all of that. So the whole victim energy is something I still find quite hard to be around. But remember, we have all of the archetypes within us, because we can all be poor me. I can go into poor me. You can as well. We all can. But we have to just see when we are falling into these patterns. And again, why am I behaving like that? What am I running from? And the answer, of course, is to expand into our greatness, into our divinity, into our allness. And what Metatron's saying to me as I'm sitting here is all of this talk about water, and the need to flow and the need to surrender, the need to be flexible, all the rest of it. He's just showing me the rivers. And of course, the rivers all run into the sea, don't they? So ultimately, we become like the sea. We become this beautiful, vast, awesome, powerful energy that has unimaginable depths, that is able to ride the biggest coasters and waves. I live by the sea. It's the most beautiful thing to witness every single day, because it's almost like it's unique every day. The light is different. The energy is different. It's able to purge and cleanse itself. It's a master teacher, but it's like we need to become more like the sea rather than these little tributaries, or worse, a blocked up dam, which is where a lot of people are in our collective energy. Yes. What was I going to say? I don't think today I'm going to run through the top 10 sprays of 2022. I might allude to them. It's just that there's probably about an hour and a half I could spend on that. But I will do that soon. But I am going to tell you what the worst, it's awful to say the worst. Tracy's watching me. Sorry, Tracy, to say this, because it's a beautiful spray. It's not a worst spray. It's just it was the least popular spray. But it teaches a lot. Okay. The one that people don't choose teaches a lot. And I'll show you what it is. It's the Tree of Life, guys. The Tree of Life spray. Now, it could just be that I haven't featured this very much. I haven't talked about it very much. But I was thinking about it today. The Tree of Life. Where are we on the tree? Why do we find it so hard to move to the next branch? To move, we just stay stuck. We just stay stuck. And I think it's as though humanity was stuck. I'm being shown by Metatron. It's like a state of shock, actually. It's as though there's an energy of shock that we've been living through. And it's as though everyone's just wanted to stay very close to their particular branch. And maybe that's been forced as well. But I still think it's persisting. And it just feels as though in 2023, the tree's going to be given a great big shake. I was going to swear then, but I better not, otherwise I might get thrown off. The tree's going to be given a big shake, but it's your tree. You are the tree. We're all being shaken up to become who we truly are meant to be. Some great opportunities for those that really are ready. And even if you're not ready, guys, it's as though we're going to be given a bit of a push. I'm going to spray this spray now and just see if anything else comes through. It has as an essential oil hyacinth, which is quite a unique smell. I really like the smell of hyacinth. Reminds me of springtime. And of course, the Tree of Life. I mean, I probably will do another teaching on this another day, but Metatron sits at the top of the Tree of Life at Ketha. Archangel Sandalphon sits at the bottom at Malkuth. And it's just a way to help understand how we navigate through this life, coming down from pure spirit to experience what it is to be a physical being, with all that that entails, all of the mess, all of the difficulty, all of the trauma sometimes. But within that, there is such rich learning. And of course, there's also the most amazing, beautiful things that happen as well. And then, of course, our journey back up the tree. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. So yeah, that was the one that didn't do as well. So I think we'll bring some teaching through on that. And I will just say the other one that didn't do particularly well last year, and this has got nothing to do with sales, guys. This is to do with energies. The sprays that I make, it's an energy system. So that's why I'm interested when I look at like the top ones or the bottom ones. It's like, what did people reach for? What did people need help with? What did people aspire to bring into the body, whether that be an ascended master energy or to get to know it within themselves? But what are the ones that they also just pushed aside? And the other one that got pushed aside, you're going to really raise an eyebrow at this. The peace spray. The peace spray. Sapphire peace. It's easy to maybe think, oh my God, you know, why? Why would humanity reject peace? It's not that we're choosing to reject it. It's just we're not at peace within ourselves. So I think this, going back to this thing about slowing down, it's all part of that. Because how can you be peaceful if we're all rushing around at 100 miles an hour the whole time? So to be at peace, to be flexible, to allow spirit to shake up the tree, i.e. you, whatever that means, to find the learning in all of it. Janine, I bought the Sapphire Peace spray this year. Lovely spray. It is a lovely spray. I think it's got peppermint in it. And peppermint as an essential oil is one that's very good for helping with mental clarity. Because again, if you're in a shock energy, and this is where the collective has been, we've been like in a shock energy, it's very hard to think clearly and to see clearly. Everything just sort of shuts down. But peppermint, whether it's something you're ingesting as a mint, or actually it's something you're spraying or you're nurturing in the garden, peppermint, it's very reviving. So it feels as though this year is a year where we start to come back, our senses come back more than they have been. And I talked in the the World Predictions video for 2023. It's a year where our senses come back online much more than they ever have done. So it's very exciting, really, very exciting. What spray would you suggest for releasing grief? That would be, we have got one called the Bluebell Bridge, and it says it's for loss and grief. Again, I think a lot of people don't know that we've got it, but that would be the one. So yeah. Right, shall I show you my shadow deck? I've been looking for a good shadow deck for a while. I have got a few that I use, particularly the Lantern Oracle is very good. The Christopher Butler Healing Light Tarot is very good. I like that one. So I have got a few, but I was looking for something else a little bit darker, particularly because I read on the Idaho 4 murder case, and that wasn't at all to sort of get followers, or I did it because I was called to do it by spirit. And I still feel called to look at it again. I'm not going to do a reading on it now, but I wanted another deck next time I go into it that is, as I say, is going to help with the darkness there, but in a safe way. And the deck I've chosen is called Dark Mirror Oracle Cards by Laura Sava. I don't know if anybody uses these cards. I think there's only about 30 of them. I'll show you a few. It was one of the decks, because of the subject matter, I did actually watch one of those flip through videos, you know, when somebody previews an oracle deck and you can actually see every single one of them. So I made sure that I could work with the images, put it that way, because sometimes if they're too graphic or too horrible, it's just like, oh, I don't even want that in my house. And I have before thrown out a deck that I just couldn't even look at the pictures. They were just so horrible. But I'm not going to say what deck that was because it wouldn't be nice. And maybe it was where I was at the time, but this one feels as though it's right. So let's just show you a couple. I think I'll pull. Shall I pull a shadow energy for the collective? Let me pull the collective card first, and then I'll show you them in more depth. Gonna have a little bit of wine again. Cheers, guys. I was going to get some champagne, but I had this to finish off in the fridge, and I thought, no, I do want to do dry January, so I'm going to finish this, and then I'm not going to open another bottle. I'm going to be a good girl. Right. You see, I was about to say how boring. This is part of the problem with alcohol, I think. There's an assumption that you need to have a drink if you're going to a party or you're celebrating. And of course, the reality is you really don't. You don't have to at all. And I'm very aware that some people do dry January because they really need to. And I'm also very aware that some people, probably who follow me, have conquered alcohol addiction. I have somebody in my own life who I love very much who has got alcohol addiction problems. So I am not making light of it at all. It's all about balance, isn't it? So this is going to be my last little glass for a while. Right, let's have a card. Has anybody got this deck, by the way? Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. So this is the Dark Mirror Oracle cards. I've seen David Palmer use it, Leo King. He's the only one I've seen use it. And I've seen a couple of true crime channels use it. There is a lady that I've been looking at in terms of the Idaho 4 case, and I'd like to give her a shout out if I can find her video or her channel. Because she hasn't got many subs at all. And I think she's really a lovely girl. She's called The Reckoning Co. She's got 3.93 thousand. She's got 3,000 followers. She looks like that. Oh, sorry, you can't really see with all the reflection. That's me in the. Okay. She's really nice, and she's been covering this case very much in depth. She's a brilliant tarot reader. She doesn't know me from Adam. I don't even know what her name is, but the channel is called The Reckoning Co. And I think she's really good. And I do like to shout out people that are, needing a bit of a leg up, as it were. So she uses these cards. Right, okay. Here we go. Oh, I've been following her, Tanya. Yeah, she's good, isn't she? Very nice lady. Right. Let's just focus, guys. So this deck, firstly, please, Archangel Metatron, work through it. And I'm hearing Lilith, please work through it. Straight away, the energy of Lilith. Lilith wants to work through this deck. Okay, let's have a shadow card for where humanity is at the moment, please. As we fall into Cancer full moon. Shadow energy, please, for where the collective is. Shadow energy for where the collective is. The card of Gilded Regret. Gilded Regret. Now, I'll put it up again in a moment so you can see it. But because it is a new deck, I just want to have a little look at what it says about this particular card. It's card number 5. And it says, I feel like living in the past. Please give me 5 more minutes to linger. Oh, okay. So we're back to the tree and the need to shake humanity because humanity is wanting to stay in the past. The cage of our memories is the most gilded, lingering for the past, savoring crumbs and flashes, hints and ifs. But is our sword, however is our shield. We follow the river against the currents to a sea of maybes. I was just talking about the sea. We cannot say life is here now. We just say life was here. So that even when the future builds day by day, we still look backward to memories and possibilities, options we missed, things we lost, changes we fled. It's like staying in the twilight of conscience, in the blessed state of those 5 minutes between the time the alarm rings and when you actually have to wake up. Like little kids between the time mum calls and the time we need to wake up and run. But those 5 minutes are taking up too much time. They are the drain of our energies, of our opportunities, and of our future. The ifs are now gone. Whatever has been already isn't. Right, so this is completely about wanting to live in the past. And there's a sentence here. It says, memories are like floating underwater, safe and murky, yet they held the scent of death. We can't move on. We can't move on, but we can. We can, guys. And it starts with us. And look what's on the bottom of the deck, the temple of my body. What was I saying at the start of this live? That we have to be listening to our body, that our body is telling us where we are stuck. It's completely shouting at us where we are stuck. So body work is going to be so important through this year. And then we've got the card which says hiding your true self as well. So we're stuck in the past. We are not viewing the body as the temple of the soul, because if we truly did view the body as the temple of the soul 24/7, we wouldn't be doing half of the things we do to it. Let's be honest. And I'm holding my hand up there as being completely responsible and doing that as well. I mean, come on, we've just had Christmas. I've got all the excuses, all of these buts that are keeping me in the past of Christmas, but I've still got another 3 boxes of chocolates to wade through. But, Amanda, your hips are saying you don't need another box of chocolates. The body as the temple, the body crying out, please God, no more sugar, you know, etc. Need to drink more water, somebody says. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. My body has always been my biggest lesson, Carmel K says. Yeah. Someone says, I love big hips. Well, bless you. Thank you for your candor and humility. Yeah, you see, because I think this is what's holding a lot of the spiritual community back. You know, the truth is we're all flawed, but we can only get past them by being honest with ourselves, by being honest with each other as well. And I do think social media has a part to play in all of this as well. And we're all culpable. You go onto social media and people show you usually the best bits of their life, you know, the filtered photographs, etc. Whereas actually, if we could all just be a little bit more honest about our flaws and our weaknesses and our addictions, without going into victim energy and poor me and, you know, none of that, just owning where we are at, how we've been looking after ourselves, how we've been living our lives. And I think we often don't do it because it just feels like such a big uphill struggle, but it doesn't have to be. It's just about taking one step at a time and trying to change one habit at a time as well. That's what I'm going to try and do. It's what I am already doing. I've got back to my daily walking. When it gets a little bit warmer, I'm going to get back to the sea swimming. I think I'm going to start to do a juice every morning rather than my normal breakfast. Little things like that, but little things build to big things. Laughter is the best medicine. Absolutely. Someone says I'm eating Christmas candy as I listen to you. Well, I'm drinking a glass of wine as well. So, you know, I'm doing that. But as I say, that's going to end as of tonight. Amanda, do you have a video talking about the golden ray? Not specifically, but I would say to that the golden ray to me is very much the ray of Christ. Sorry, that one. It's the Jesus ray, it's the Christ ray, it's the golden ray. So any videos that I'm doing where I've basically been talking about Jesus and Christ would be linked into the golden ray. And also we've got, it's not ready yet, but there's going to be 3 unicorn sprays that we are releasing this month, and they're all on the gold ray really as well. Although there are other colours linked to the bottles, but they come in on that very high vibrational golden ray. Right, let me just show you another couple of these cards and see what you think. I think this is going to be a really good addition to my arsenal of cards. This one says, what does it say? It says downcast pride. Pride before a fall. Pride and ego being the things that hold us back so much of the time as well. This is a good one. Look at that. Colorless angel. Colorless angel. Well, you can't work with Archangel Metatron and be colorless. In fact, when you start to work with Metatron, one of the things you discover very quickly is that he opens you up to the world of color. All of the different color frequencies, the color vibrations. Those of you that have done courses with me, for example, I think you can probably testify to the fact that that happens. I remember one lady who'd done a course with me, the Metatron course, and she wrote an email, and it just always stayed with me. She said, it's just extraordinary. She said, I now look at the sky and it looks bluer. I now look at the forest and it seems greener. And it's as though the scales are removed from our eyes and we start to truly see the world of color, which is the world of vibration. And, you know, whether it's the wardrobe that suddenly starts to become more colorful, your home that starts to become more colorful, just incorporating more and more color, seeing more rainbows, it's all the Metatron energy. So I know I'm wearing black tonight, but that's just because I wanted to put my soft cell t-shirt on just to sort of get into the chilled out vibe. But normally I always wear color, don't I? So there's nothing wrong with wearing black. It's just that one of my color teachers years ago had a exercise, I hope she doesn't mind me mentioning it, Moira Bush. She always used to, when I was doing my color training, this was back in 2005, one of the things she asked us to do was to spend a week in a particular color. That didn't mean you couldn't change your clothes. It just basically meant that 1 week you could only wear blue. Obviously, this doesn't really work if you're working in a company which requires a uniform, but for the rest of us. So literally just try and wear blue for 1 week and nothing else. And then the next week, try and just wear pink and nothing else. Might be easier, maybe for some people. You get my drift. It's like you will not believe the difference in your mood and your vibration based upon the color that you're wearing, particularly if you wear it for a couple of days. And then you really start to feel the difference when you then shift to another color. It's extraordinary. So yeah, someone say it's not plain black. No, it is. It's got color on it as well. This was such a great night. One night, one final time. Except, like all bands, of course, they say it's the final ever show, and then they get a contract for another album, and they're back on the road again. But this was at the O2 Arena a couple of years ago. Loved it, absolutely loved it. But yeah, that's a tip for color. Okay, I mean, think about it in your own home. If you drastically change the color in a room, it drastically changes the energy in a room. So what you wear, it's a bit like what you eat is what you are. What you wear is also what you are in terms of colors and vibration as well. But Metatron definitely doesn't leave you as the colorless angel. Somebody in the comments on my last video was talking about, I don't know if it's the book or the film, His Dark Materials. I don't know if it's been made into a film, has it? I haven't read the book anyway, but I think you got confused. I might be wrong here, but they were saying that within His Dark Materials, the fallen angel is Metatron, who starts all the wars. And I said, I don't think so. Well, Metatron's not a fallen angel, but it would be Lucifer, unless the writer of that, I don't know, was playing around or deliberately misleading. I don't know. But anyway, Metatron will always color your life. He won't take color away. Oh, someone says, I didn't like how they portrayed Metatron on that show. So they did they? What does Metatron say about wearing black? There's nothing wrong with wearing black. Black ultimately has absorbed all of the colors. And actually black can be a very safe color to wear if you're needing to maybe hide away, or you're needing a time of being more reclusive. If you think about the color of mourning, it's not black actually all around the world, but certainly in my culture it would be black. People wear it maybe as a mark of respect, but also like black has absorbed all the colors. It makes you more introverted in many ways. It makes you go within. It's the void. It's the birthplace of creation. So there's nothing wrong with wearing black. And yeah, black can be a shield too, somebody said. Absolutely. Doesn't it also absorb energy? It can do, certainly in terms of the sunlight. Mastery. Yeah. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. I was more really sticking up for Metatron if he's been portrayed as some sort of fallen angel on that show. Are you still doing your color course? Yes. And this is one of the things that this year I am going to master, which is slowing down and doing less. I'm going to be staying on YouTube, coming on a couple of times a week, not always alive, but twice a week, hopefully. But the other social media, particularly Instagram and Facebook, although I do enjoy it and I'll still be there, I won't be there to the same degree that I have been, because I just need to get these courses written. And yeah, colour is my absolute passion. I think I've told you the story before when I was at primary school and I was about 5 or 6. And I still remember to the day, the teacher every week would have a different colour table. It'd be themed around a colour. And you had to bring things in from your home that were that colour. And everybody put their objects onto the blue table or the pink table. And I just remember it. And the table I remember, guys, was the gold table. I remember the gold table. And I can't remember what I took in, but I remember I took something in. And it always stayed with me. So yeah, colour's been with me forever. It's quite interesting as I said that. Look at that card on the bottom of the deck, the child that I was meant to be. The child that I was meant to be. Children need colour. It's why they love drawing and art. And it's really important that children keep that love if possible. It gets to a certain age and it's like sometimes deemed as not cool to do art or to draw, but it really is. I came across a very powerful video yesterday on YouTube. I can't remember the channel, apologies, but it was basically a guy who had spent his life as a prison warder in Broadmoor, one of the hospitals where the criminally insane go in the UK. It's got many of the most notorious murderers there. Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper, although I think he's died. Anyway, this guy was talking about his experience working in Broadmoor and other hospitals like that. And he had the most, oh my God, guys, he had the most genuine heart, humble, beautiful, beautiful man, you know, had seen some terrible things within the hospitals and the people that they were trying to treat. Why I'm telling you this is he was talking about the power of art therapy. And I know many of us know this, but we can forget it. And he was talking about the people that are just completely closed down. Maybe they've done terrible crimes or whatever's happened, or they're just very, very ill, or both. And the power of sitting down and getting them to draw or to illustrate how they feel as being the key that unlocks it. So why do we forget how important that is? And yeah, it's something that we all maybe could be a tool for us in 2023 to pick up the paintbrush again, or to doodle, or to colour in, somehow get, again, it's this creativity, get the creative juices going. Yeah. Right, let me show you another couple of cards. Let me just pull one more. I don't know what what am I asking for here? Let's just ask for any other message. Let's ask for specifically a message from Metatron. Envious gluttony. Envious gluttony. So this is one of the illustrations I don't particularly like, but I'm not going to shy away from it. It's not particularly pretty, but it's not meant to be pretty. Envious gluttony. I want to go to the book on that. before making my own interpretation on it. I feel this is a deck that you need to get to know before you properly do a reading, really. Going to the edge of the ravine, savouring the idea of letting go of all restraint. The card is not just dark, it is unpleasant, disgusting. The difference in the how we feel in front of a vampire as opposed in front of bugs. Existential darkness. It's talking about how we can, it actually says how we can paint romance drama, but we can't face the darkness, the real darkness. I was talking about Broadmoor. I was talking about the mentally, criminally insane. And it's interesting, actually, if you look at the Idaho 4 case, I'm not going to even make a comment with regard to whether I believe he did it or not. I will do a reading on it. But what I have observed in the collective is how much people want him to be guilty and how much people just want him to be a monster that is over there, that is uncategorizable. I mean, what he did, if he did it, guilty till proven innocent, sorry, innocent until proven guilty, rather, is very important, I believe, and the judicial process has to be gone through. But it's just interesting how the humanity just loves to box things away. Case solved, you're a monster, you're not anything to do with humanity, we can't even look at it. Whereas actually, say he is guilty, what will come out is a story with him, I have no doubt, with regard to whatever it is, his mental health, his upbringing, I've no idea. The stories behind the monsters, what makes somebody a monster, what makes somebody become so cold-hearted and so out of touch with the divine within themselves, within another person, that they, you know, commit these atrocities. Yeah. Pigeonholing, oh, can't speak, pigeonholing, that's exactly what humanity likes to do. Yeah, we like to pigeonhole, don't we? Okay, right, so let's just raise the vibe a little bit, but I will just show you a couple more cards, and I'm going to show you a lighter deck. But it is a good deck, isn't it? Look at that, blinded to the pain, blinded to the pain, alone in the world, sacrifice. This is an interesting card, artificial heart. I don't like this clamour. I have mentioned this on my social media pages. I think there is a, put it this way, can anybody else feel what I'm feeling? There's like if we're talking about the sea, there is this subcurrent underneath the sea. I'm talking here as an analogy. There's a subcurrent underneath the sea where we are sleepwalking blindly towards the whole, I don't know if I can say this without getting demonetized and things on Facebook, the whole artificial intelligence thing. And it comes in very subtly. Somebody that I really admire, Gary V, I've talked about him, and you know, he's brilliant. I think he's a great influencer, great motivator, very much in the style of somebody like Anthony Robbins, and you know, he's great, really like Gary V. But I did answer a post the other day that he put up where he was basically promoting these sort of services where that type of technology can write your own posts for you or write your own business, I don't know, proposals and things. And I just think it's such a slippery slope. And it comes into art as well, artificial art, artificial, it's not good, guys. And it's to do with like anything for an easy life. I'll let the computer do it. I'll give away the essence of what I am, which is a divine, creative soul. I don't think we should be doing that. But again, that's a subject for another day as well. It's a slippery slope. Yeah, it is. And the thing that's so frustrating about it, guys, is like people don't seem to see it. They don't seem to see that they're on the slippery slope. What's that expression? There's no such thing as a free lunch. That's what I think about it all. I've seen it even in the spiritual community world, that there's a company doing the rounds at the moment which is saying that they will write your creative content for you. They'll write your posts, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, but it's all computer generated stuff. It doesn't have the essence of who you are. It doesn't have the essence of who I am, what makes me tick, what made me start doing what I do, etc. The human touch is, we're living in a world where the human touch is, being reduced. We need to fight back against that. We don't want this as our future, artificial heart. The heart energy is the thing that will save us. The heart energy is the thing that will lead us back to all that is good, all that is pure, all that is right. Just another couple of cards here. Let's just see. What do I want to? Fragmentation. Yeah, they're powerful, aren't they? Parasite. Anyway, I'll use those in a reading soon. Definitely. Let's now show you my other deck, which is a very much the contrast. Metatron is all about the light and the dark, duality, balance. So we're going to go from the Dark Moon Oracle deck with its gore in places to something completely different. Can you guess? What's at the other end of the extreme? Unicorns. Unicorns. I wanted a different unicorn deck. This is another Blue Angel deck. Okay. I don't know the lady who has done this. I haven't had one of her decks before. She's called Cordelia Francesca Brabs. Okay. And it's called the Oracle of the Unicorns. So because we have got a unicorn spray coming out, I thought I would get the deck. I'd get a deck to help us tune in. Let's have a little look. It's got the Northern Lights as the backdrop on the cards. That's rather nice. That's definitely on my bucket list to see the Northern Lights. Let's open these up. I have got the prototype unicorn spray, so should we use that as well? Let's do that. Have I? Yeah. We're going to be doing, it's not showing up very well on camera. It's not showing up at all. It's hiding from you. It's actually got a picture of a unicorn there. We're going to do 3 different unicorn sprays. This one is called Rest and Receive. Rest and Receive. The other one is called, we've got a 7th dimensional connection spray to the unicorns, which is going to be in a different bottle. And Tracy, I can't remember what the other one is. I know there's 3 of them. Anyway, let me show you a few of these cards. Who works with the unicorns? Probably quite a few of you. We have the energy of abundance. Action. I live quite near what's called the New Forest in the UK, and you see ponies, wild ponies, all the time roaming the streets. In fact, they have cattle grids outside people's houses so that the ponies can't, get into people's gardens. But every time I've been to the New Forest recently, I just keep seeing white horses and white ponies. So, of course, the energy of a very purely white animal, particularly a horse, they often say there's the unicorn energy within it, don't they? We have flow, we have freedom. Oh, look at that. The 3 Fs. No, I'm not being rude. Flow, freedom, and friendship. Nice. They're lovely, aren't they? Nice colours, nice illustrations. Shall I see what unicorn energy wants to come forward for Cancer full moon, for those of you that are watching? Okay. Yeah, someone's saying, sorry, was that John? I think it was John who was saying that the northern lights have been visible in places where you don't normally see them. I think up north, as we say down here, up north, certainly parts of Scotland, there have been some times where you've been able to see them recently. 1 billion businesses are also called unicorns. Is that right? Okay. Yeah, but the Northern Lights, so it's almost like they're coming further south, or they're being seen in different places. Right. We have imagination. Sorry, lighting's a little bit dodgy because of the time of day. Imagination. Envision a new reality. Give yourself permission to dream. Believe in unlimited possibilities. I think that's a big part of the unicorn energy, you know. It's to do with believing that they are real, believing that they are possibly there, stretching your imagination, not ruling it out, keeping an open mind. Many people, when they first awaken or start on their path, they maybe are drawn to particular guides, particular archangels, particular things, whether it be crystals, oracle cards, whatever. And then some of these other realms, I'd include the dragons in that as well, but the unicorns definitely, sometimes it feels a step too far for some. But yet, look at children. Children absolutely adore unicorns, don't they? Anybody who's got young kids knows how much they adore unicorns. So, someone says, is it Tutti Frutti scent? No, it's not, but that would be nice. I can't remember what Tracy's put in it, but it smells. Oh, I haven't sprayed it, have I? Let's spray it. More than anything, it's about lightening the mood. Putting a smile on your face, becoming more childlike, filled with a sense of wonder. So let's spray this one and see what we get. So this is the unicorn, the healing unicorn, rest and receive. It's in a pink and yellow bottle, which does look a bit tutti frutti, doesn't it? Nice shade. I'm trying to convey the smell, and slightly citrusy, but it's got something else in it. I don't know. I haven't got the information to hand. And I'm being told straight away that that's not necessary anyway, because one of the jobs of this particular unicorn energy is to help us switch off the rational mind, which always needs to know how, why, where, and what. Okay. It's almost as though we can't help ourselves, particularly when we are on the edge of a new dimensional reality. Many of you might have been working for unicorns for quite a while, but some of you won't have done. So it's a new thing. They represent, as I say, for example, the 7th dimension. It's another step up, as it were. Not that it's hierarchical, but you know, it's just another realm to experience. And you experience it through your heart. You don't experience it through your mind. So the first job to enable us to be able to open ourselves to them, and to receive the healing that they wish to bring through, is to help us to reduce the mental mind's demands to know the ins and outs of everything. The proof. Where's the proof? You know, where's the proof? They come in via the imagination, and children have great imaginations, don't they? So again, I'm being drawn to something like creative writing, poetry, singing, anything which is helping you to get into that zone, basically, and away from, or temporarily away from, a world which is very ABC. You know, you do this and you do that and you get that. Okay. Whereas with this realm, it's anything is possible, basically. And then think about what that can do. Take it into the realm of healing. Take it into the realm of your work. Take it into the realm of your own expansion into yourself and what you are capable of, what you are capable of feeling, what you are capable of knowing, all of that. The ego's love of linear reasoning. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Pam Colley. The boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse. Yeah, that was a TV program that in the UK was on over Christmas. They repeated it a couple of times. I have to say that I didn't see it in its entirety. My husband came in from the park and he said somebody in the park, dog walker, had said the best thing on TV over the weekend was The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse. It had a very gentle, it was a animation, wasn't it? It was an animation. So I think that had a bit of magic in it. Can unicorns leap between realms? Yes, I see no reason why they would not be able to do that, because there is an energy with them of unlimited potential and unlimited possibility. They can be anywhere, do anything. It's us that, again, this thing about pigeonholing and boxing things, beings, energy into just one space is a human thing that we do. Oh, it was a book, was it? Okay, right, yes. That made Christmas this year. The White Horse Flies. Oh, okay. I don't know. I need to go back and watch it then. I missed it. I missed that. Okay, let's pull another couple of cards. The messages in The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse are just amazing. What was the message? What was the message, guys? It's passed me by. It's passed me by. Sue Shawmans, thank you very much. You sent me some, I think it's you. Were you the lady that sent me some chocolate? And you sent me something else as well. Did you send me the chocolate tulips? I think you did. In fact, have I bought them upstairs? Yes. Look at these. Tulips from Amsterdam, except they're chocolate. As you can see, I've eaten most of them, but they were very nice. This is one of the boxes that I still have to finish off. They're too good, aren't they? They're too beautiful to eat. I think it was you, Sue. Thank you very much. In fact, thank you very much to anybody that's donated, who has liked a video, put a comment on a video, supported me in any way, bought the sprays, bought the oracle decks. Again, the reason we're sitting here today chatting is because of your support. Thank you. Amanda, this doesn't have anything to do with unicorns, just a thought. Do you have any plans to bring out a Heart Squad spray? Not a spray, but actually one of you suggested, what about an oracle deck? Picking out some of the nuggets that they've said. And I really like that idea. I mean, it's slightly, I don't know, not dodgy in terms of copyright. I'm just thinking I'd have to, it would have to be illustrated in the right way. So I'm not using, a picture that belongs to somebody else or something. But one of you was talking about, for example, like David Bowie. I mean, I don't remember, when I channel people, I don't necessarily remember what I said, but I think David Bowie, one of the channelings, he was talking about humanity. It's like when we come in, our soul, and I realize why I'm saying this now, our soul is vast, like the sea. What I was saying earlier, like the sea, we're just vast, we're expansive, we're magnificent, and then we squeeze ourselves into this tiny little, what he called toothpaste tube, and if you're lucky, a bit of the toothpaste squirts out at various points in your life, and oh god, that's another bad analogy I've used, but anyway, you know what I'm trying to say, guys. You know what I'm trying to say. David Bowie's toothpaste analogy. I think it could make a good card. There's lots of nuggets that they've all given over the years. Cheeky asked, does Mary Magdalene feature in the Christ Consciousness deck? Yes, she does. She is featured in a card with Mother Mary. There's a beautiful picture, which I must admit I have kept. It's out on my landings. I can't show you, but you'll all see the pictures soon enough. It's a picture of a painting that Jane did of Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary. They're sitting on the beach with a beautiful campfire. There's beautiful sky and twinkling lights, and it's called Sisterhood. And there's also a picture of Mary Magdalene and Jesus, which is I think I've called it the Divine Union card. Sacred Union, Divine Union. So she features in those two. I don't think we gave her a card on her own, but she definitely features with Jesus and with Mary. Yeah. Do you have plans to come to the US? When I'm able to, again, I would like to, yes. I'm not sure what the rules are at the moment. I think I still can't quite get in, but right. Heart Squad deck is a good idea. Okay, right, what are we doing here? We're going to pull another unicorn. Okay, let's pull another unicorn card. Delight. Count your blessings and enjoy life. Take pleasure in simple things and always expect the best. My goodness, that could be a mantra, I think, for all of us for the year ahead. Count your blessings and enjoy your life. Take pleasure in simple things and always expect the best. It's really difficult, isn't it, when you're going through a hard time to count your blessings. But the truth is that if you're alive on this planet, you have another day. You have another day here to look at the sky, see the stars, see the moon, breathe, be with people you love. Let's get back to the basics. Let's get back to the simple things, which are so important. US restrictions extended until April 2023. Okay, so maybe after that. We'll see, won't we? We'll see. I would love to see you in New Zealand. That would be nice as well. Hell of a long plane ride, isn't it? But it would be nice to do it. I think, you know, it's not just this year, and I don't think it's just my age. This is energetic as well. It's like, come on, let's do this. So the places you really want to visit, where would you really like to visit? Which parts of the world? For me, yes, I do want to go back to the US. I particularly am drawn to California. Arizona is an obvious one. It's a big old country, isn't it? I'm not sure. I'd like to come to Australia. I was nearly going to go to Australia just before the first lockdown, and then it didn't quite happen. One of you reached out to me. I think, bless your heart, you even sent me plans and planes to get on, and you know, it was quite advanced. And I also got invited to Japan just before the first lockdown, and I'd really like to do that. Someone said South Africa. I want to go to South Africa too, because actually South Africa, I think you're my third biggest country that follow me. And it's a shame because we can't get anything into the country. We can't get the sprays into South Africa. I don't know whether we can get the decks in. There's a big problem with trying to get post into South Africa safely and reliably. So maybe I'm meant to be the present. Maybe I'm meant to show up and come. I'd like to come to South Africa. Come with me to South Korea. That would be exciting. India, Iceland, and yeah. Okay, guys. Right. So, what else do I want to say here? I'm aware I've nearly been on for an hour and a half, and I don't want to keep you all evening. I did also want to say that just as a thank you for the 100,000, I wanted to do some giveaways, and I was trying to think, well, what's the I don't know, fairest way? How is the fairest way to do this? And I was thinking, well, what I could do is I could just pick some numbers between 1 and whatever, and then count through the number of comments. And if you're the 50th comment, for example, you get a gift. But I see there's 1,800 of you. That's going to be quite difficult to do. But I do want to do something. So Tracy is going to put together some gift boxes with just some, you know, nice spiritual knickknacks, things that we've acquired in them. We've also got a Ascended Master spray collection box, which is going to be coming out at some point this month. And it's going to look like this. And I'd like to give a couple of these away as well. So this is what it's going to look like, an Ascended Master collection. And in that we've got, who have we got? We've got Merlin, we've got Mary Magdalene, Sanat Kumara, Kuan Yin and Kali. Also have got obviously my own Metatron deck, including, I think I've shown you this before, but I've also got a Russian Metatron deck. Now, one of you, I promised this. I think now you're actually living in the USA, so I'm going to send this to you. I did get your message that you're now safely settled, but you are a Russian lady, so I'm going to gift this to you. I believe that the Metatron deck has also been brought out in French, but I haven't actually seen it yet. So that's one to look out for. But it's quite interesting seeing Metatron in Russian writing. Shall I pull a card from the Russian deck? And then, of course, we've got the Christ deck, which is going to be coming out in May, I believe. Amazon do have a expected delivery date. I'm just a little bit nervous to promote it at the moment in case the date slips. It slipped a bit with Metatron. But at the moment, I think it's about May 16th, May 17th, something like that. The Christ deck will be out, Christ Consciousness deck. So that's 3 years of work, you know, with me and Jane Delaford Taylor. And yeah, the Christ painting is the one that's on the front of the deck. I think you're going to love it. It's 55 beautiful pieces of artwork, some good writing from me. I think we've done a good job on it. So hope you enjoy that. Someone said your father spoke Russian. He's been gone 4.5 years. I didn't quite catch your name. Rest in peace to your dad. Come to Argentina. That would be good as well. So yes, we're gonna give away some decks, some sprays. What else did I say? I've also got a couple of decks from my own personal collection that I'm going to give away, which I don't use. There's nothing wrong with them, but I just don't use them. I'll show you what they are in a moment. This one's just flown out of the deck. And look at that, how interesting. So it's in Russian, so I'm not even going to attempt a Russian accent, but this is the card of, sorry, it's lilac. I mean, if there was a unicorn card within the Metatron deck, it probably would be this one, okay? Lilac is about the higher realms. It's also to do with the crown chakra. And it's based on, you know, the once upon a time type energy, the fairy tale, the magic, the fact that as children we believed in the happy ever after. We believed in the fairy tale. And then life starts to make us a little bit more jaded the older we get. And we forget that. And we don't think there's going to be a happy ever after. And we start to unconsciously, even though we don't realize we're doing it, dream in and manifest in a lower timeline by the energy of fear, by the energy of fear. You know, we worry that, for example, war is going to escalate even further. It's going to turn into a world war. We're going to have nuclear activity, all of that, okay? And if you go there, it's a really dodgy place to be. Whereas actually, if you go higher and you pull in a higher timeline and you focus on that, you help to manifest that in our world. So yeah, the Russian deck is bringing out the energy of lilac. And lilac, of course, is also about balance. It's balance. It's a very violet pill. Is that a bit of a violet orb there to my, I can't get the, this is all back to front, this looks like it's a bit of violet to my side there. But anyway, violet, and then we also have the white card as well. So 2 colors, violet and white. When you put white as a color energy next to any other color, you amplify it, okay? It just gets amplified 10-fold, 100-fold. So there's a very strong message from Metatron coming in to say the white light, the diamond light, amplifying the higher realms, amplifying our ability to manifest magic at this time is critical in this beautiful magical year that we've got coming in. Yeah, it's got the quartz crystal. That's also supposed to represent, I don't know if you can really see it. Those of you who've got my deck, you know what it looks like anyway, but we've got the angel wing here, and then we've got the diamond. Okay, so there's that saying, isn't there, that when you go through difficult times and challenging times, that's actually what makes you stronger. The diamond is forged through adversity. It doesn't become a diamond sitting on a piece of cotton wool, you know, where it's just totally, you know, safe and nothing happens to it. And no, the diamond is forged through adversity, through friction, and so are we. But yet when we go through these times of great friction, we have the angel wing that is around us, holding us and supporting us, even if we feel as though it isn't, or you know, spirit has been absent. I will say one thing about that. about spirit being absent. I'm sure all of you at some point on your spiritual path have had times where you've said a prayer, you've asked for help, and it's like, well, where the hell are they? You know, where the hell are my signs? I used to get signs. I'm not getting the signs anymore. I used to hear spirit clearly. Now it's muffled. If you're a creative person, maybe you've got complete writer's block, or a musician and nothing's coming through, whereas normally you'd be able to channel it through, and you're helped and guided by your guides. I have definitely noticed times like that when it happens, because it happens to me as well. It's usually when I'm undergoing a big transformative time, and there's a shift in energy coming in that I'm not necessarily fully aware of. And then once you're through it, it's suddenly literally like the clouds part again and the sun is back. And it's about having faith and trust during those times when it's like, well, where are they? And I can't feel it anymore. They are still there, but it's as though you're being, Metatron's shown me, and he does this, I know, it's like he's just pushing you out on your own a little bit, because you're meant to do that bit of the journey on your own to a degree. It's like birth and death, isn't it? We're born and we do it ourselves, and we die and we go through that experience ourselves. We can be supported, but ultimately it's a solo journey. And it's definitely a solo journey when you go through these big transformative shifts. And that's definitely been happening. I've experienced one quite recently, tail end of last year. I'm just coming back into the sunlight now. And don't judge it. Don't worry about it. It is what it is, basically. Yeah. Okay. Right. So yes, I showed you this deck just because it's in Russian, didn't I, basically? So yeah, that's going to go to a Russian lady in America. I'll just show you the couple of decks that I'm going to be gifting away. I'm always a little bit nervous to do this type of thing because I don't want it to appear that I'm dissing anybody else's work. But, at the end of the day, not everything can be resonating with everybody. So there's nothing wrong with them. It's just the fact that I don't get on with them necessarily. One of them I've told you about before, and I've really tried with this deck, but it just doesn't work for me. But I know other people love it. So I'm gifting the Angel Wisdom Tarot deck by Radley Valentine. It's a beautiful deck. It's actually 78 cards within this deck. So it's pretty hefty. And as you can see, I haven't really used it very much at all. They're not very worn or anything like that. I will pull one for us as I'm talking about it, but I will gift this deck to one person as well. And I'll have to talk to Tracy tomorrow about a fair way to do this, but it might just be a case of after this live has ended, I might just look through the comments and select a few people. It might not be very scientific, but it will be coming from the right place and from my heart. So I'm sure the right people will get them. Did you just see that orb that went by? Oh, that's nice. We have the King of Pentacles, I think it is. The King of Pentacles. Trustworthy, honourable, devoted. Now, I'll tell you why I don't get on with this deck very well, but it's just my thing. There's a lot of writing. There's a lot of writing. And I tend to go for decks where it's more about just getting in tune with the imagery and the feel of it. And I actually find the writing a little bit, it pulls me away from my intuition. But that's just me, okay? This is probably the perfect deck for somebody else. So, yeah, King of Pentacles. It says trustworthy, honourable, devoted, cautious, someone you can completely trust, a situation that is safe, a solid romantic relationship, hidden but well-intentioned emotions, a charitable benefactor, and seeing a counsellor. So there's quite a lot there, okay? But anyway, nice deck. So that's one of the ones that I'm going to be giving away. I do like Radley Valentine. I think he's a nice guy. And he picked up the pieces from where Doreen left off with grace and honour and humbleness, and he never answered back. And I think that deserves a round of applause, actually. The other deck I'm going to get rid of is this one, or not rid of, I'm passing on, is Deborah Blake's Everyday Witch. Again, nothing wrong with it. They're very lovely cards, very colourful cards. But I think it belongs to somebody else. So let me pull one card from this. Can you hear the gales getting up? Ooh. Yeah, there is a purple orb, isn't there? Because there isn't a purple patch of paint on my wall. Right, sorry, let me just concentrate. When you're shuffling, it is important to concentrate. Okay, for the people watching, what message does this deck have for the coming full moon? Earth magic. Look at that. There's the full moon. There's you in front of your stone table or desk or kitchen table, wherever you are. And you are cooking up your potions. So this is basically about ritual, the importance of ritual, the importance of observing the moon. It also looks as though this lady is burning sage. So there's an energy here of purification. And I did mention I can hear the wind whistling through my windows now. So definitely it's a clearing the deck's energy with this full moon. We've also got what looks like salt in a bowl, which would be an energy of protection. Some people leave salt, for example, outside their front door. It's a very old-fashioned, not old-fashioned, it's more of an oldie-worldy, that's what I'm trying to say, an oldie-worldy technique to protect your house, protect yourself. I remember years ago, I put salt underneath one of my daughter's beds, and just because her room was a mess and I wanted to clear it. And I thought I'd got away with it until she came back and she said, "What the hell is this?" The everyday witch, you see, that's what we are really. We are the everyday witches. Use what is available. Salt, most people have in their larder. So it's also great to cleanse your own body with, of course. Maybe take a salt bath over this full moon. And then the last thing that it looks like is there is quartz, clear quartz. So again, we're back to the white light. What's on the bottom of the deck? Meditation for creativity. That's one way to do it, isn't it? He's blasting his canvas with fire energy. There's a lot of stuff coming out of that toothpaste tube. I'm being serious. That is the energy that's its creative outlet. So again, you may very well be inspired this full moon to create something, but again, it comes in via meditation, and it feels as though everybody gets involved with it. Okay, got the cats, the dogs, everything, but the kitchen sink is there. So yeah, going to give that one away as well. Right, so I think all that really remains to be said then is I probably ought to leave it here, because otherwise I can just go on and on, as you know. But it's been lovely to be with you. What I will plan to do is do these. I'll probably try and do a live once a month, and we can structure them a little bit in terms of what you would like help with. Maybe sometimes there'll be particular things that are going on around the world where we can do combined healing or meditation linked into that. Will you bring Steve Judd back? I'm still in touch with Steve. He's doing really well. I know he's busy. His last video that he did, I think he was articulating himself that he's slowing down a little bit in terms of not working every day that God sends. But I'm sure if I asked him nicely, we probably could arrange something. So I'll have a word with Steve. I did enjoy my chat with him, which was about 3 years ago now. My goodness, long time. But anyway, let's just raise a glass. Oh, somebody says, you love Steve Judd. You found him. I found me through him. Or the other way around, not sure. So thank you all for being here. It's been brilliant. Amanda, are you up for interviews? I'd love, yes, I haven't been doing much of that at all, but send an email in to Tracy at Amanda Ellis Orders @gmail.com, and we'll see what we can do. Having said that, I am busy, but I'm going to try and plan a few things in this year to do. So thank you guys, we did it, and couldn't have done it without you. And thank you very much for all of your support. Thank you also for anybody that's donated during this session. It wasn't expected, it isn't needed, but thank you. I haven't named you because it's just been flying past. Okay, lots of love. I'll be back in a couple of days, and I'll be doing a reading linked into, I'm not quite sure what really. Well, I'm going to do the top 10 sprays, and I think it might be a good idea to do a heart squad to celebrate 100k. There's a few of them limbering up that want attention. It might be Prince though. It might be Prince. Prince has got something to say about how we navigate the matrix. I'm going to leave that one with you. So yeah, I'm going to be bringing Prince back soon as well. Anyway, what I'll do, I will link the decks that I've previewed below. I might not do it straight away, but I'll do it later tonight or tomorrow. And thank you all very much for being here with me tonight. Lots of love. Have a good evening, everybody, or whatever time it is in your parts of the world. And it's funny, one of you says more blessings, 1 million subs coming. Let's hope so. Let's dream high. You know, let's dream high. Let's manifest in that big C. Let's do it. Yeah, Prince, wouldn't he be great again? I have to clean my room though. Not that my room is dirty, but he is very fastidious and he likes the decks cleared. Thank you to the moderators as well who helped tonight. Appreciate your support. Okay, guys, must go. I'm going to go and have something to eat now. Lots of love. I'm going to work out how to end this broadcast. See you all soon. Bye for now. Bye-bye.